Grace and peace to you, brothers and sisters in Christ, Zion Baptist. Um, grace and peace to you. Grace and peace to all of our social media brothers and sisters who subscribe to our church YouTube channel. To everybody out there, it's been a while. It's been 2 weeks, almost 3 weeks since I posted something on our YouTube channel. That wasn't my intent, but uh, some things happened, some things occurred in the past 3 weeks. Um, Going back to January the 6th on a Wednesday when our Capitol was bum rushed, raided uh, from American citizens. I said what I said Sunday, that following Sunday, from the pulpit, and I talked about hate. And after service, one of our older members said to me, Pastor, that message um, needs to be on YouTube, needs to be Facebook, that sort of thing. I respect him a lot. And I thought about what he said, and I knew exactly what he was saying concerning what I had preached about hatred and overcoming that hatred with love. But after that, I've had something in mind for YouTube. But making sure that my mind and spirit was okay. I took some time off from just putting something out there across the internet. But today, I want to talk about racism and Christianity. I don't have enough time to break down how African Americans were forced into Christianity, how we were colonized by Europeans, how we were forced into their way of thinking as far as religion, stole a lot of tradition from the African American in Africa. Were told that what they were doing was wrong and they had to take on Christianity. I don't have time to get into all of that, but we are here now as Christians, believers of Christ. We are taking on the spirit man of Jesus Christ, all of that. But now in 2021, we've come a long way, but it's sad that not just as a country, but those who confess Christ are still racist, meaning that you believe that one ethnic group is better or above another just because. And that's a lot for us to take in. And I think we've come a long way, but we still have so much room to grow. And I want to say this, that I'm not just talking about racism from a white person being racist against a black person. If anyone who knows me knows that I try to come straight down the pipe, and I know white people who are racist, and I also know black people that are racist for whatever reason. The point I want to make today is it shouldn't be. Now, as Christians, there are a lot of things we can wrestle with as far as Christianity comes, and what some people believe, what some people are doing, what some people are saying. But tonight, I want to address the elephant in the room, which is racism. I want to look at Galatians chapter 3, And I want to read verses 27 and 28 for a foundation of what I'm saying and what I'm gonna end with. Galatians chapter 3, verse 27 and 28, and I read from the New Living Translation. Listen to what Paul says. And all who have been united with Christ in baptism have put on Christ, like putting on new clothes. There is no longer Jew or Gentile, slave or free, male and female, for you are all one in Christ Jesus. Paul has to address this audience that he has at this time, because as this new religion of Christianity comes into place, you have people from different backgrounds, Judaism, other religions, that are now confessing Christ and coming into one baptism. And what Paul is telling them is that now that we're in Christ, now that we're in this new relationship with Christ, we put on Christ. And putting on Christ means that all of us are the same. Now, there has been some misunderstanding with this text, and I want to briefly say that this text is not addressing people of authority. It's not saying, when it says we're all one in Christ, it doesn't mean that the CEO of the company is on the same playing field as an entry-level position. He's not taken away from levels of authority. Paul is simply saying that when it comes to Christ, it doesn't matter if you're a Jew or a Gentile. And the reason he used Jew and Gentile, because at this particular day, if you were a Jew, you had a better life than a Gentile. Jews had I'm sorry, I'm getting the Jewish and the Romans mixed up. But what Paul is saying is that we're all one in Christ. It doesn't matter your ethnic background. It doesn't matter your zip code. It doesn't matter which side of the railroad track you were from. That we're all one in Christ. So the question I have is, if we're all one in Christ, and we're all reading the same Bible, how can we dislike another person because of the color of their skin? How can you just completely write off someone as being less than you because your skin color is different? I read a book about a month ago entitled Jesus and the Disinherited by Howard Thurman. Great book. If you get a chance, read it. It's only about 100 pages. A tough book to read as far as vocabulary, but it's a great book. When I finished the book, something that dawned on me that really disturbed me. Howard Thurman, African-American man, theologian, civil rights activist, pastor, teacher, professor. He pastored the first integrated church ever in the United States in San Francisco. Whites and blacks joined together, the first of its kind at that time. And Howard Thurman is born in 1900. He publishes his first book, 1947, Jesus and the Disinherited. The book is basically talking about how Jesus and those who are disinherited had the same or have the same struggle. Doesn't matter what color you are. But if you are considered less than, low than, that Jesus had some of the same struggles that someone who was less than or thought of as less than. Here's what's very interesting. that the book was published in 1949, but it's still relevant. Here's what I mean. He writes this book, published in 1949. The book is basically life experiences he's had from the time as far back as he can remember up until the book. In 2020, 2021, I'm reading this book and I'm saying to myself, everything he experienced is the same thing we're experiencing right now as African Americans. There's no way that a book that was written from a man's perspective, life experiences in the 1900s, published 1949, should be relevant in 2020. I should have read that book and said, man, this guy had it bad. Man, can't believe he experienced that. Can't believe he saw that. But when I'm reading, I understand him clearly where he's coming from. Have we come a long way as Christians when it comes to racism, when it comes to our churches still being segregated? Yeah, we have come a long way. But we still have a long ways to go. Am I saying that things are worse now than they were in 1950 and beyond? No. I wasn't born back then, and I would not dare try to take away the life experience from anyone who was less than African American, female. I wouldn't dare take away from that experience to say the times are worse now than it was then. And I'll give you 2 quick points right off the bat. In 2020, I don't have to walk the sidewalk with my head down because it's against the law to make eye contact with a white person. In 2020, I have the opportunity to go to any college, university that I want to. Whether I get in or not is a different story, but I can apply anywhere. By law says I have the right to be there just as much as anyone else. So no, I'm not saying that times are worse now. I'm saying we have a long way to go. And as a child of God, whether you're black or white, whatever your background is, there should be no reason for us to hate another race just because of what color they are. In God, we're all one. He's not concerned about our color. He's not concerned about where we were raised, who our parents are. But he is concerned about how we treat one another. And I don't know about you, but I never want to treat someone a way that's displeasing to God. That God will be upset with me because I had treated someone in a way that was displeasing simply because of the color of their skin. Not that they ever have done anything to me, but simply based on their color, that I would treat them as they were less than a person. Zion Baptist, as the pastor of the church, I am so thankful of where we're going, where we are, how far we've come. I'm thankful that we have an atmosphere where black and white people come and worship. I'm thankful that we have an atmosphere where we can worship God the way God has allowed us or called us to worship. But I want us to keep this in mind before I close. We're all one in Christ. God looks at us all the same. And we must do our part as children of God to be that example that Paul is talking about in Galatians chapter 3. Neither Jew nor Gentile, male or female, we're all one in Christ. God bless you. I love you. I hope this message is an inspiration to you of God's love, no matter who we are. He sent his son, Jesus Christ, to die for all of us. God bless you.